Welcome to D2 Global News. And just like that, as if written by a lazy yet attention-seeking screenwriter, the monster of the car tariff has officially woken up from its brief hibernation. Its roar, in the form of a 25% tax on all imported cars into the U.S., is echoing through the halls of power in Ottawa and the assembly lines in Windsor, Oshawa, Alliston. The 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, barely a few weeks into his White House gig, didn't waste any time reminding Canada of its ideal position. The #1 trade partner, close military ally, and sometimes a convenient punching bag for America's protectionist tantrums. A shock? Well, maybe not. Disappointment? Absolutely. That feeling of, here we go again, to the point of exhaustion. Totally on point. For anyone who has followed the long-running drama of the Canada-US trade relationship over the past few decades, the return of the car tariff, while painful, feels eerily familiar. It's like knowing a brutal winter in the Canadian prairies is coming. You don't like it, you know it's going to be tough, but you have to prepare for it anyway. The question now isn't why, but how much skin are we going to lose this time? The official reason given for reactivating this economic doomsday weapon is, of course, the same tired old chorus. Section 232 of the 1962 Trade Expansion Act is pulled from its glass case, dusted off, and put to use, declaring that Toyota RAV4s assembled in Cambridge, Ontario, are somehow a dire threat to U.S. national security. A creative interpretation of national security, one that might only be dreamed up by Washington, especially when applied to a neighbor sharing the longest unprotected border in the world. Alongside the security excuse, there are the usual goals. Protecting jobs for U.S. auto workers, though this policy risks losing more jobs on both sides of the border due to supply chain disruptions. Reducing the trade deficit, a long-standing obsession despite the complex realities of North American trade flows. And most importantly, serving a domestic political agenda. In Trump's worldview, tariffs aren't just economic tools. They are symbols of power, a way to punish adversaries, even those that are allies in name, and bolster the image of being the protector of America. The harsh truth is that the North American auto industry is a single living organism, a complex circulatory system where blood, in the form of parts, technology, and labor, flows freely across borders. Slapping a 25% tariff is like tightening a tourniquet around an artery. It doesn't just hurt the part of the body beneath it, Canada, but it also causes reverse necrosis to the very body that created it, the U.S., through higher prices, disrupted supply chains, and inevitable retaliatory strikes. But it seems basic economic logic doesn't hold much sway compared to the immediate political gratification of protectionism. To truly understand the dance Canada is being forced to do with Washington, look no further than the endless saga of softwood lumber. It's not just a trade dispute, it's part of the national heritage, a Greek tragedy stretching over 40 years with various chapters, lawsuits, lumber awame inertu dalthers fo uvawi, who's still counting, anti-dumping duties, countervailing duties, temporary agreements, MOU, SLA, signed in exhaustion and torn up when the opportunity arises. The striking thing is that Canada often wins legally at international forums like the World Trade Organization or NAFTA USMCA panels. But winning on paper seems to mean little when the other side continuously changes the rules of the game, throws out new accusations, or simply ignores the rulings. The softwood lumber battle is a painful lesson in the limits of international law when facing the political will of a powerful country and the persistence, or stubbornness, of interest groups in the U.S. Now, facing the car tariffs, the memory of softwood lumber looms like a dark prophecy. It shows that this battle could be long, costly, and full of complex legal and political twists. It also shows that a combination of legal defense, trade retaliation, and tireless diplomatic efforts is the only path forward, though it won't be easy. Once again, Canada is cast in the familiar role of the neighbor who must patiently explain the obvious to a powerful partner that doesn't seem to want to listen. This is no longer a forecast. The damage is already here. Car and parts factories across Canada, especially in Ontario, are facing a perfect storm. Soaring input costs, reduced or delayed orders from the U.S., and an uncertain cloud hanging over every investment decision. assembly lines are slowing down, jobs are at risk, and news of production shifts, paused lines, and even layoffs has already begun leaking out. The hundreds of thousands of jobs dependent on this industry are no longer just dry statistics. They represent the livelihoods of countless families now directly threatened. A 20% reduction in output and jobs is now a frightening possibility. Prices are dancing, with the extra cost of tariffs being passed directly to consumers. The price of a new car, already not cheap, is now even further out of reach for many Canadians and Americans. This will lower overall purchasing power and could drag the economy down with it. Navigating the already complex supply chain is now even more tangled with new tariffs and potential origin requirements. Delays, parts shortages, and rising shipping costs are becoming the daily reality. Clearly, the Canadian federal government is running at full capacity. Emergency meetings, strong condemnations, retaliatory lists, and activating support funds are all happening behind the scenes. Temporary political consensus may emerge, but the pressure to find the silver bullet solution is immense. This shock goes beyond the auto industry. It erodes business confidence, causes financial market volatility, and raises serious questions about the sustainability of Canada's economy, which is heavily dependent on trade with the US. Faced with this trade aggression, Canada cannot just sit back and take it. A range of countermeasures, even if none are perfect, is being rolled out or considered. Some tough responses are on the way. First, there's retaliatory tariffs, a cocktail of taxes aimed at bourbon, orange juice, motorboats, and various goods from swing US states. This might cause some discomfort for the other side, but will it be enough to change the White House's mind? Or will it just make life more expensive for Canadian consumers? Second, long-term litigation. The army of lawyers will march back to the USMCA and WTO courts. We may win a few legal battles years down the road, but will we win the real war? Third, diplomatic missions. Ministers and ambassadors will head to Washington trying to explain, persuade, and find loopholes or unexpected allies. It's necessary work, but often feels like talking to a brick wall. Fourth, domestic painkillers. Financial support packages. They help ease the immediate pain but don't cure the root problem. Dependence. Fifth, the dream of diversification. The call to reduce reliance on the US market is louder than ever. CPTPP, CETA are golden opportunities. But turning these opportunities into reality requires iron political will and long-term investment. And we seem hesitant. Will this pain be big enough to create real change? An ironic but undeniable truth is that this tariff policy harms the US as well. American consumers will pay higher prices for cars. US auto manufacturers with North American supply chains will be hit hard. And American exporters and industries targeted by Canada's retaliatory tariffs will face consequences. This is not a win-win scenario. It's a situation where both sides lose, just to varying degrees. But will this economic logic be enough to change political calculations in Washington? History shows that it's far from certain. The nightmare has come true. The feared auto trade war is officially underway, throwing the Canada-US relationship into a turbulent and uncertain phase. There's no room for wishful thinking or hollow diplomatic reassurances. Canada is facing one of the greatest economic and political challenges in decades. Ottawa's response needs to be multi-layered, resolute, yet also wise. A mix of strength, retaliation, legal action, and flexibility, diplomacy, short-term support, and long-term strategic vision, diversification. National unity, rising above partisan divisions, will be crucial. The road ahead will certainly not be smooth. It demands the resilience of a nation that is all too familiar with navigating alongside a powerful but unpredictable neighbor. The hard lesson from softwood lumber shows that Canada can endure, can survive, but the price could be steep. This battle will not just shape the future of the auto industry. It will reshape Canada's economic identity and its place on the world stage for years to come. And sadly, this drama seems to have only just begun. Thanks for watching the video. What do you think about this? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with our latest content. Take care and see you soon.